Thank you for joining me for this afternoon's 45-minute flow. We're gonna start seated, eyes closed, and this time our breath work, instead of just settling, we're gonna go right into some movement. With our 45 minutes, we're gonna kind of jump in quickly here. So as the eyes close, roll the shoulders forward, up, and down the back. Right? So inhale, the shoulders up, and then exhale, down the back. Again, inhale, lift the shoulders. Exhale, roll them down. One more, inhale, up, and down the back, and then leave them there. Take the palms out, palms up, reach them up, exhale, hands to heart. Okay. Now again, take the arms out, up, exhale to the heart. Inhale, reach, widen it out, lift it up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more, inhale, reach, widen it out, lift it up. Exhale, hands to heart. And the chin drop towards the chest, the palms press into each other, broadening from the throat center outward. Thank yourself for showing up for you. Plant a seed of intent, or if you prefer, offer up your silent statement of gratitude. Thumbs to third eye. Arms extend, the eyes open, and exhale, coming into the room. Nice, inhale, left arm up, side bend to the right. Inhale, switch it out, right arm up, side bend to the left. Inhale, up. Exhale, bending. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, bending. Reach through those ring fingers and thumbs. Nice long reach up, and again, reach ring finger and thumb. Nice, and now let's take this into a twist. Rotate to the right. Right arm will kickstand you from behind. Left hand may cross all the way over if that makes sense, or stop somewhere along the way. And then really use this back right hand to send the shoulder blade down the back and prop up. And then see if you can maintain that, lifting the right hand, threading it small of the back, coming around through to the left side. No force, we go as far as we go, and then breathe. Inhale, we look for that length through the spine. Exhale, using some abdominal engagement, move to your twist. Let's take just the head around. As far as it will go to the left, keep the heart open to the right. And then just unwind everything. Switch it right on over to the other side. Take the left hand, fingers away from you, heel of the hand towards the base of the spine. Right hand comes over. Keep rooting and rising, right? Inhale, exhale. We feel that moving towards the twist, pulling the ribs in, the navel in, knitting towards the center. The shoulder blades are drawing down the back. And again, if you can support no change, then that left arm rotates inward, comes behind the back, and maybe even comes around to find the right thigh. You're working the shoulders down. And just like we did before, we're only taking the head around, coming around. And then everything will just unwind. Awesome. Let's go for a little stability. We're reclining onto the back, so we're gonna make some effort to really go through full range of motion in the hips. So coming on down onto your back, knees are bent in half rest, and take a moment to really feel restful. So no engagement of the thighs, no energy in through the feet or the calves. They're just truly resting. Nice, and then draw the right knee into the chest, and as you do, anchor point navel to spine. The right knee comes into the chest, interlace the fingers, give it a hug, and if comfortable, the left leg will just go long. Tuck the chin slightly inward as if you were about to nod yes, but keep the back of the head on the mat. Giving the leg a nice hug here. Take care now to draw it to the outside of the body. So no change in the hips, the knee is still bent, just taking that right knee to the outside of the body. Let the right hand then come to the inside of the thigh and see if you can extend that leg out straight. Push through the heel and then bend it right back. Okay, you're only going as straight as that leg will go without the leg pushing away from you. And in. One more here. And then back. All right, we're crossing the body, bringing it internal again, not letting the hip lift. Coming across here, right? Just settling in first, and then the left hand comes to the outside of the leg, and we'll do the same thing here. I'm extending it straight as much as I can that the leg does not travel away from me. So that knee stays as close as it begins. No change there. Bend and straighten. One more. Straighten out. Awesome. Let's go back to the right hand, guiding the right knee, stabilizing through the hips, and then circle that knee as big as you can. Right, so nice, really big, slow circles. Nothing is trying to find any change off the mat. So I'm trying to keep my hips locked in. We're going the opposite direction, anchoring down, outer hips locked in, trying to avoid that sense of rocking and rolling with the body. Right, so tightening all through the center, nice bracing through the core. One more here, just taking that knee around. Awesome. And then rolling over to the left side. You're going to go ahead and bring your right heel towards your right bum, okay? Right heel towards the bum, and then I'm going to try to line up my knees together. So I'm going to work a little quad stretch here, see if I can roll right back down onto my back, and we're in a lightning bolt. So that right knee, the heel, foot comes to the outside of the hip, not under it. Okay. And if you're not comfortable coming all the way down, so you can see that side, my foot is not under it, it's next to it, my knee is down, I'm trying to get my hips down. You may like to be up here on this one, okay? I'm trying to draw that right hip down like the left, I'm trying to keep that right knee down and center engaged, not letting it tweak out to the right. Take the arms overhead, opposite elbow, little grab here, space between the shoulder blades. We did a lot where the shoulder blades were working towards each other. Here, purposefully drawing the shoulder blades away from each other. If you can come down, you're good. Otherwise, stay on the arms. And then release. Roll back to the left side and bring that right leg out and then release it down. Shake it out, okay? Same on the left, right leg stays long. We're just taking, again, we're doing compression first, so using the arms here to really hug that knee in. Trying to keep the hip in its original space, so I'm not letting it hike up. Long on the left side of the waist, and just compressing here. Try to let go of resistance in the left leg and the left thigh, soften through the hip flexor, and then just the left hand holds it, right hip stays down, and you're rolling it out towards the armpit. We've been working a lot of 360 rotational pivoting flows lately, and we will get to that. We're just taking a little different care to warm up those muscles and activations of the hip joints here a little differently. Okay, hands on the inside, right? Try to tuck that knee in as close as you can to the shoulder, nothing else change, just straighten out the leg. One, you can really feel that through the hamstring. Again, straighten it out just as far as it'll go. Two, nice flex foot. And again, straighten it out. Three, awesome, bringing it back in, give it a hug, and then begin to cross the body without letting the hip lift. It may not go very far. From here, the right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh, right? I like to do it right up by the knee. That feels really comfortable for me. And then I'm gonna straighten it out and bend it back. Working a little internal rotation of the thigh now here. Straightening and bending. So you might feel this more inner actually than hamstring. Awesome. Okay. So now let's go ahead and play with what that brought us. Full circle round, try not to move anything else. Two. And you can use that left hand to guide it, stir the pot. And three. And then let's go the other direction, trying to make those circles as large as they can live. One. Stabilize right side. Two. Awesome. One more. Around. Three. Okay, now here's where we went for the top. So rolling over to the right side and take the left Now heel behind you. And again, you can stay right here sideline. I can bend that bottom leg if that makes me feel more stable. I'm still letting my left knee travel with my left hip, right? Picking up this hip and getting long here. So I can stay right here, or if I liked, I could roll back onto it and the heel is on the outside, right? So shifting over, knee stays down, heel on the outside, or again, maybe you liked coming up on the elbows with the two hips and legs in front of you. That's all good too. So I can come here. If you are down, let's see about opposite elbow grab one more time. If you're missing this, don't worry. There'll be plenty of other opportunities to protract those shoulder blades, right? So little opposite pull here. Maybe it's a wrist or a forearm, or if you can have the opposite elbows, the shoulder blades again are trying to draw away from each other. Awesome. All right, undo those arms, make your way back over onto your right side so you can pull that left leg out and then flip onto the back. 2 feet onto the ground, lift up those hips and come into a bridge pose. Inhale, float the arms overhead. Exhale, hollow and lower down. Bring the knees in for a hug. Okay, and then this time we're going to rock ourselves forward and back. We're going to come up into balance point. Use the legs to kick it out first. Coming up, balance point. And then come on back again. Maybe rock those legs out further. Balance point. Now maybe no legs. Keep the knees tucked in. Balance point. Again. Balance point. Awesome. One more. We're going to find ourselves all the way over into down dog. Back. Oh, cross. Hands down, step it back, down dog. Inhale, bring yourself forward into plank. Make sure that spacing is right for you. I know that can get a little messy sometimes on those rollovers. Exhale, press it back, down dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Inhale, half lift, extension of that spine, gazing forward. Exhale, bend the knees and fold it out. All right, I told you get another opportunity. So here it is, grab opposite elbows, opposite wrist, next closest thing. And as you give a little pull here, again, the shoulder blades separate from each other. And if you want to add a swing to it, add a swing to it. Opposite, switch out those arms, other one on top. And then just drop the back of the hands to the earth. Inhale now, strengthen and lengthen it all out. Strong legs, strong spine, strong arms. Half lift. Exhale, fold it. Inhale, wide swoop up, reach it up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Beautiful. Stepping into the right foot, left leg just shoots behind you, kicking through the heel, coming right into a warrior 3. Pulling the belly in, arms are your expression, maybe floating back by the hips, out in front, and then potential a bent knee warrior 3. Staying with it, holding. Lift the arms higher and straighten out your standing leg. Everything lifts up, left foot forward. Right leg goes back. Here's our warrior 3 with the left grounded, right? Just seesawing, keep lifting that back heel as you draw the chest forward and down. So not just down, think of that chest moving forward, floating the arms as you wish. And then again, maybe adding that bent standing leg. Really grounding through the heel, more through the toes as you're bending that leg. Make sure there's no discomfort on the heel if you're going for that option. And then everything lengthens out. And we've made our way to the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, swan dive down, reach wide, lead with the heart. Inhale, extension of the spine. And then exhale, stepping back right leg. Maybe you'd like in blocks today. It's a runner's lunge. Right? Pulling that left hip back, right hip a little bit forward as the feet are trying to close towards each other. Beautiful. And then pivoting, side lunge, keeping that left leg bent. And just like we did in our warrior 3, let's take those arms. Maybe your expression is you'd like them back. Maybe you liked out that T, or reaching forward, arms high. Really lengthening long through that inside of the right thigh. And then we're coming up and around all the way over to runner's lunge right. Okay, runner's lunge right. So the right leg's bent, and those legs, again, they're scissor closing. Shoulder blades are down the back, feeling that cobra right here. Nice. Right side lunge, pivoting. Where would you like your arms, right? Energy out through the thumbs and ring fingers, right? Whether they're behind, they're wide, or they're in front, or they're wide, somewhere in the middle. Really getting long in the outside of that left leg and sitting back in those hips. Knees shifting back, shin shifting back. Awesome. And then let's return back to the top. Left foot leads forward. And we're going to come into a warrior three the hard way. So blocks are nice. I left them up here for a reason. Kicking up. Maybe I'm going to bring them forward. Lift that back leg, just like you do for the step throughs, right? You know, train to lift that back leg, and you've got all this lift of through the back heel, the strength through the glute, and then track that. Turn on those cobra muscles and lift the chest. Arms, again, your expression. Maybe you're bending the leg. This time, we're gonna see if we can step right on back. So we've got that counterbalance, and the knee is coming down this time. Awesome. Knee comes down, pulling up, just like we did reclined in that lightning bolt. I'm gonna work to pick up the front hip, turn on the glute, lining up the knee with the hip, right? Just like we were reclined on this earlier. Got that same action going through. And I'm trying again to draw my left hip in line with the right. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart, rotate. Again, use that waistline rotating to the left. Right? Turn on that left outer hip. Turn on that left glute. And if you want to extend the arms go out. And then come on back through. Breath in. Let's see about lifting up to our crescent here. Tuck the back toe. Push that ceiling up. Lifting. And then we're going to rotate again. Side lunge. Left. Okay. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and take the hands, blocks or not, and we're going to dive them out. So I'm going to go way out, like I'm going for that dive into the pool, arms by the ears. From here, maybe the hips sit back a little more. And then we're going to shift ourselves over to the right. Take your blocks this time, okay? Take your blocks. We're in that right side lunge, and we're going to sit back. Okay, so we're going to come right to this side, right off the gate here. And again, we're going to press it up and sit back. And maybe the hips are going a little lower, still working to get the outer line of that left foot down. Nice. And then we're coming back around. Right foot forward. Beautiful. Okay, here we are. Right foot forward, nice and long with the torso. And then we are going to take ourselves kicking up and coming into warrior three. Okay, so shift the blocks forward up enough, right? Really push up, push that heel up, right? And then bring the blocks out a little further, turn them up higher, lift the chest, turn on the muscles, back body, side body. Warrior three. Maybe warrior three, bent knee. And then with the arms in front, you're counterbalancing, setting the back leg down, back foot, and then the back knee. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, picking up the hips, pulling those lower ribs in, and really purposefully turning on what you're looking for in this left thigh, outer hip, glute. It's all hug and center. From here, I got to turn on the right because I'm taking this length and rotating towards the right. Right? Again, the legs are scissor closing. Feel them work towards each other, and that outer right hip's really turned on. Using the waistline, not locking through the arms in this rotation, and then maybe even freeing the arms, taking them out wide. Nice. And then coming forward. Here we go. Tuck that back toe under. Press the ceiling away and you're up. And then exhale, lean it forward, find your blocks, coming around, side lunge right. Okay, side lunge right. So we did a neutral, we did a reach, and we went to go back. We're gonna go back further this time, and we're coming into Skandasana with a seat on the blocks, okay? Seat on the blocks. You can do, stack it, stagger it, whatever you'd like. But as you come down here, you're gonna see about not getting the right hip down. Actually, it's the left. So I wanna think more of my left thigh coming down, whether you want 1 or 2 blocks, depending on your spacing, right? More on the left thigh down, okay? Awesome, come on up. Stand up, guess what? You're coming right back down, right back down. So if that height wasn't right, I've got my stool now. I've got some more space, okay? Up, press, beautiful. Come on down again. If you wanna do this without a block, you can come all the way to the seat, up, right? You wanna try to level it out a little bit more, like up in the ante, as it were. Try blanket, up. Let's get one more of these in, down. Weights in the heels, hips are shifting, back and coming down. Awesome, here we go. Up, all the way, nice. Take it over to the left, and we're gonna build that out here too. So there's no rush, right? Remember, as we come down here, I'm now thinking about my right, top of my right thigh, right glute, maybe, right? That's what's coming down. And then up and down. And up. Use both legs, right? Draw through the heels, strength through. Pelvic floor lifts, right? Engagement up, 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 up. And we've got one more. Seeing what maybe that depth will bring. I'm gonna go for my blanket, we'll see what happens. And we're up again. Nice, beautiful. Pivot back to the left side of the mat, right? And we're gonna step back this time into down dog. So whether you want your hands onto your blocks or the earth, press it back to your dog. I'm gonna take a couple of breaths here. Inhale, coming forward into plank. Awesome, I wanna take this one to the mat here. So knees maybe first, heart leading the way, come on down. And we're coming down here for really the opportunity to open up the front of those hips a little bit more. So really lengthening through the tops of the thighs, press the tops of the feet into the earth, right? Little tuck of the tail, press the pelvis into the earth and lift to your cobra, right? Your floating arm cobra maybe, right? Really just concentrating on lengthening those front of the hip flexors to lift it here. Awesome. And then exhale down. All right, inhale, press it up. Now we're gonna walk the knees forward, knees together, feet apart, and we're sitting into Virasana. So here we're gonna try to put each of those lightning bolts together and sit right between the heels. Again, we've done this. Maybe it makes sense for you to sit on a block, okay? Maybe your blanket smashes well, right? Working to wiggle those hips down, shoulders up over, and then optional, hands come to the feet, fingers pointing towards heels, shoulders roll back, and you're coming onto heel of the hand and then elbow, right? Heel of the hand and then elbow, okay? And then you're like, how am I here? Am I good? Do I wanna go further? If I'm going further, watch to make sure the lower spine is not pinched. Bring your elbows closer toward your feet, and then see how that helps the shoulders just lower down. And we played with grabbing over the top, if you'd like that, how that lengthens out the side body. You can go again to grab opposite elbows. You can just reach the arms over. You can leave the hands down, open them up. 3 breaths. Those 3 breaths are really trying to draw the knees towards the earth and lengthen again, all the way through the quadricep, the hip flexor, the lower abdomen, through the ribs. Notice that the knees are trying to flip up the mat and go wide, and you're still trying to draw them in and down. Okay, lifting up, we took our time getting here, same thing. Chin towards chest. This time, as your hands come down, lift your shoulders high by your ears. and then those elbows will pick you up, and then draw your elbows back further. Okay, so now the hands are more towards the toes than the heels. Now you've got those hands to ground you and lift you up. Moving forward to hands and knees, extending those legs back. 1, 2, plank. Exhale, 3, down dog. All right, let's see how this feels now. Take that right leg up, bend the knee and open up the hip. Maybe straighten that right leg out into the air. Inhale, lengthen it out. We're stepping it through. So if you want to use the blocks, we're just using this to pivot around the mat. Okay, pivoting low, should feel nice and good low. Coming around the other side, working out through those hip flexors. Up, left leg is up. Bend the knee and open up the hip, right? Rooting through the right leg. Really get purposeful in the inside big toe line. Right? Feel that, how that tracks up through. Maybe straightening the left leg out here. Bending it back again, knee nice and high. And then lengthen it all out. Step it through. Again, we're rotating. We're just seeing about staying low, pivoting, coming back around. Awesome. Right leg goes up. And we're in a standing split this time. Standing split, get really active on your foot on the ground, okay? But now you're thinking really the ball of the foot. Right? The ball of the foot is trying to drag your mat back behind you. Yeah, feel how that, it really turned on through the back of the calf, the back of the leg, and use that to take the right leg up high. And then exhale, tuck it in. Again, curl it in, foot down, beautiful. Pivot, low, low, left leg, sweep it back and up. 3-legged dog, right? And then you're just really taking that 3-legged dog, exploring a down dog split, okay? Not walking my hands in any closer. You can if you want to, but really we're going for this big expression of the legs and using the ball of the bottom leg, right? So I'm even not so concerned about the heel of my right foot, the ground foot. I'm really more into the ball of the foot, trying to drag that mat back. Yeah. And then tuck it in and let's rotate once again. Up and around, up and around. Awesome. This time just set that left knee down. You made it. Okay. We're in Anjaneyasana, low Anjaneyasana, right? So I've got that knee purposefully back further behind, okay? But I wanna play with our control of weight distribution here. So as we have, you know, we are looking for this big split, bigger space from front heel to back knee. I still don't want to dump into this, what's called the anterior part of the hips, okay? So this hip flexor right in front, right, that crease right there. I don't want to just dump into that connection. I actually want to keep some strength and control in that connection. Think of where your thigh bone comes up to your hip. And so I'm a little bit pulled in. I'm using my abdominals to not just dump, okay? So that would be the difference of just a dump into that area and still keeping the length, but a little bit of engagement, and hopefully you can feel the difference. I've also got it because I'm pressing my back shin into the mat, the front of my ankle into the mat, and the top of my foot behind me into the mat. So I'm really working to enliven, to tone what I'm stretching. Taking the arms up, and then from here, maybe build the back bend. Nice, and then exhale, coming through. Hands come down, bring your hand blocks back towards you, and then just rock with the straight spine. So we're getting definitely opening through the back of the right leg, but I'm not in a deep fold from that back bend. I'm really in a pretty neutral spine for the most part. I just have this hip hinge that the spinal column is nice and neutral. Now that we've been here for a little bit, you want to move forward into the deeper fold, you're lengthening, keep reaching forward, right? Now, if you want to begin to take those blocks and walk them out, whatever height makes sense to you, coming down. And then shift it forward. Awesome. Tuck back toes under, right? Pivot, take your blocks, pivot. Big stance, right? Big stance, long line. Right knee's coming down way back behind you. Okay, way back behind you. Again, I'm working the stretch that works for me. I'm going with deep length, but I'm not dumping. I'm just getting that little bit of engagement coming out. Still working the scissor close on the leg. Deep hip hinge on the front without losing control of this frontal right hip. Using that shin, the foot, the ankle, right? Dragging through, and then if that makes sense, build the back bend from here. Two more breaths. Right. And then the inhale will lengthen you out. Again, we're gonna get really tall blocks, keeping the chest fairly upright. Okay? Hand blocks are back by the hands, and then just rock the front leg straight. It's really changing that position there, coming back into a stretch of the hamstring, a stretch behind the knee, calf, down through. Toes are curling back. And then, right, then you're gonna gently find your way coming out. Leaning heart forward, right? Bringing those blocks with you, sending them out. You might even prefer elbows. Right? See where they go, see where you like to go. Nice, and then shift yourself forward. Tuck back toe under and step it back to down dog. Take your feet a little wider. And walk your hands back to your feet. So if I was to do a fist count or hand count, I'd have 16 knuckles, right? 8, and then I'd have double on either side, okay? So they're just a little wider, but my toes are still pointing forward. They're not turning out. Lifting up, really getting the balls of the feet down, and then from the balls of the feet, lifting up and getting the heels down. Balls of the feet up, roll, heels up. Balls of the feet up, roll, heels up. And you can deepen your fold as you do this if that begins to make sense to you. Feel how this control begins to help you, right, of the heel lift and the ball of the feet lift to keep spilling your pelvis forward. So you're working this connection of the ground, right? Here's where we can get into a little bit deeper of a hip hinge with the heels up. I like how that feels. I can bring my ribs a little closer to my thighs. And then as you come up onto your toes, notice then how you can lift the backside. The sits bone's a little higher, and then it spills forward further, right? Working into the fold there. Now, really just lengthen the spine. Half lift, bend the knees. Now we're gonna take this into a squat that makes sense for you. You're already in it right here. Feel free to stay. Right, working that deep hip hinge, heart is forward, arms can shift forward. You can think of this as that low chair that we do, or if you want to come down lower. And if the feet need to turn a little bit, turn it. If you want your blanket to get low in that squat, get your blanket, but keep your heels down. Try not to go full malasana. Two more breaths. Or standing tall, up, coming all the way out of that hinge you've been in. Hands by the sides. Bring your feet to a more neutral hip distance apart. And then just with you, neutralize. Pick up the front hip bones a little bit, draw the back tail down just a smidge. It's not tucked under, it's just down. And I've got just a little more weight in my heels than my front of my foot. Inhale, take the arms up. Nice. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, remember those threes? Doing it again. Step into the left, right? Right goes back. Think of all this control and opening you've been working through. Nice. Okay, and then up and tree pose. So right knee is going out, 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 out. Foot comes in, 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 in. No hands. Press them into each other. Try to lift up off the thigh bones, lift up off the pelvis, right? So everything goes really tall without overdoing ribs. Soften them. Try to let your gaze soften, even go a little foggy. And if you like that ground, it's got to be in the distance ground, not straight down, out. Okay. Let's switch sides. Right knee comes up, center it out, stepping into the right foot. The left leg, press it back, press it back. Warrior three, coming through. Arms are totally up to you. And then as we come up, I'm gonna bend that knee and begin to take it out. Lift it high, and then foot inside the thigh. Tree. Neutralize, coming from the foot up through the standing leg. Let it meet the right hip, meet the left hip. Let those then tie up through the pelvis. Let that lead you up through the waist, that softening of the ribs, that opening of the chest, softening of the jaw, and that just drifted, distant horizon gaze. And then let's take a step one more time, 2 feet down. Okay, we're gonna come into one more warrior three. I'm loving this balance today. And this one is gonna take us into half moon. So we started to get that leg shifting, that rotation shifting out as we did in tree, but this time we're gonna go into half moon. And I wanted you guys to be prepared should you like your blocks, okay? So remember, wherever the hands go, whether they're blocks or the floor, in half moon, the distance from your heel to your hand is the distance from your hip to your shoulder. So be sure that you lengthen out that spacing. Don't grab too close, okay? Let's start with the right knee up. And then let's take the right leg back right into the three that you've been working. Straight leg, push it back, seesaw it up, okay? Now, left hand down. I'm gonna push left hand, left foot, and inhale, open right. Rotating. The gaze will shift last, right? And I actually really like to track the gaze on the ground. I know I said no ground, but this is a little bit different. We're down, we're looking down, we're not in that. The gaze down and then up through, and then eventually the ceiling, and we'll see maybe the right thumb if the day is good. Oh, and then come on down. Awesome. Closing it out as you can, or fall it out as I do. Right? It's all good. That gaze is a wild thing, right? Inhale, come on up. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, so let's take that drishti, other side, other lead, okay? So tall, right? All the way through, we're thinking of this consistent line from the heel up through the spine to the crown, right? And then so the leg comes back, it's a straight leg, everything's in that seesaw, coming through. And then the right hand is down. Again, what height you like. I'm trying to match out my efforts. And then begin to open up. All right, opening up the hip and then eventually shifting the gaze. I don't know if you're like me, balance is always easier on one side than the other. All right. Soften through whatever extra you're gripping, be it in your jaw, your eyes, your mouth, right? All these little places that we don't realize. Awesome. And then close it on in. Inhale, stand tall. And then here's that Malasana. Turn those toes out, come right on down, elbows inside. See if you can line up those ankles and knees under each other. All right. So that would be ankles under knees, right? You can't really get knees under your ankles, but as you look through, see what you can do to keep more of a tracking in that regard. Elbows into the knees, lifting up through the chest. And then inhale, rise, up, 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 up. Turn the heels out, toes in, rotating inward and fold, fold, fold. Elbows down, maybe grabbing heels or extending arms out front, resting elbows on blocks. Awesome. We're going to pivot now towards that left side of the mat, pivot the feet with you, and we're going to come into our 90-90 pigeon, okay? So I'm going to bring back knee bent, front knee bent, and then I'm going to open that up, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Press the outer foot down, press the inner leg down. Lifting up, heading towards that corner, okay? Left hand down, right arm's reaching around. And again, maybe I like my blocks. Pulling left hip back and putting tone into that outer left hip that I'm stretching. Stay off to the corner, move to the center, and or straighten the back leg. So whatever you want to add there to your game, keep this as it is. Should be no discomfort on that back leg. So whatever you choose, whether the leg's out to the side a little bit or you get up on top of it, it's just, it should not be feeling that the knee is compromised in any way, or ankle for that matter. If you prefer to come upright and just put something under because you really like that sense of being on top, it's all good. We've got 3 breaths here. Awesome. Okay. From here, you're going to bring your back knee in to meet your front. And you're going to go ahead and then bring your right ankle on top of your left. Roll to your left and pull your left foot out. Double pigeon. Right. Dropping now that right knee to the left ankle. So we took that pigeon and we just leveled up. Block and rest under here if you prefer. Then lean into it, little forward fold. Just 2 breaths. Awesome. Okay, take your blocks over to the right side of your mat if you're going to use them. Leaning to the right hand, the left foot comes down, coming on up around. Okay, now let's bring the right leg 90, left knee 90. Opening up, rooting to the contact, lifting up, and then rotating towards that right corner. All right, coming with your blocks, with the ground, perhaps moving more towards center. Again, that little pullback of the right hip, really getting this adequately kind of charged in the front leg, and then decide what you want to do with the back. And my kind of biggest advice always on pigeon, I got a few pieces, but this one, do it different. Don't always do the same pigeon. Mix it up. Like there's just so many variations, and that's purposefully why I'm gonna go through the variations. It's gonna be a challenging pose for a lot of people. Some people just have that like set point that they love to just sink to. But I find so much value in mixing up and being able to do it all the ways, right? So we're gonna kind of come now into that double pigeon, right? So I did it from bringing my back knee in, okay? I'm gonna lift up, that was on my block, and I'm just gonna sit down and bring my right foot onto the left, okay? Leaning to the right to bring that left leg out, shift to the left hip, and tuck the left foot in. Right, I'm like set for a twist, up, and then knee down. Any discomfort on the medial or lateral portions of the knee, it is nice to have support. We don't really want to rest, as I said, in any knee pain. And some people will feel like decide, oh, that's like a little bit of a stretch. Well, ligaments don't really love to be stretched. So support it. Don't rest in that. Is my 2 cents for you on healthy knees. And then let's lift up. Lean back to that left side so you're really clear and easy to take that right leg out. Extend them out and come onto your backs. Remember that half rest? We're gonna lower down. And then we're gonna find full rest. Legs out. Shake it up. Take the arms out wide. Think about making more of a star with the body. And just let a yawn come, a sigh come. Feel settled. If you listen quiet enough, you might just hear your body thank you. Thank you for getting me moving. Thanking you to challenge it in ways that come from the place of self-care, self-maintenance, not from a place of struggle or force, from this place of nurturing. And part of your nurturing may include challenging. It's all good, mine does. But it's always done from this place of gratitude, of gratefulness, of exploring what may be possible as you dedicate yourself to your practice, to your movement, and to your overall sense of well-being. Extend the arms overhead, bring the feet together, get a big old log line yawn. Draw the knees in, give them a hug. Twist those legs over to the left, reach it out on the right. Tucking them in, hugging them in, twist them over to the right, reach it back out on the left. And then roll yourself all the way up to a seat. Thanks for playing. Happy Friday. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. If you had a walk in mind, those hips probably feel really great right now to go out and see that sunshine. So enjoy it. Be well. Hope to catch you soon. Tashmana Shri Gurudev Namaha. Namaste.